we've been running a story. There was a video out recently where an anti-masker, anti-virus, anti-everything, was saying some pretty terrifying things about you and suggesting that some harm should come to you. And I know that you've been dealing with a number of threats and have had to call in security. I'm just wondering if you can talk to where you're at with that, how you're dealing with that, if it's increased, decreased, and just if you can talk to that outrageousness that's happening because of your position.
This is one of the things that has been incredibly challenging. We have people who have been protesting outside our office, and it affects me, but it also affects my family. It affects the people we work with, and that's the part that I find hardest to deal with. We have a very strong support system, and I know my colleagues across the country have all been facing some similar challenges. We meet regularly, and we do support each other in that, and I think that's important. I recognize that when people are in crises, part of the way they respond or react is to lash out, to become angry. That is a reaction that is sometimes fed by certain groups, by certain media, social media posts, etc. And it's not to condone it, but it's to recognize that the psychology of some people the psychology of what we're dealing with leads some people to react that way. And I do believe that it is our collective support for each other that helps mitigate the impacts of these things. Having said that, I do have security. I have a security system at my house. I have ways that I make sure that I check in with people. We support each other, and it really is not acceptable. And what I find most disturbing is how it impacts the people I work with and my family and my close contacts and their concerns. So that's the most challenging piece right now.
We live in a democratic society, and it is absolutely legitimate to disagree, even about issues such as the pandemic. But some of the disagreement is totally unacceptable. Dr. Bonnie Henry is an extraordinary leader, and that doesn't mean she's right all the time. Certainly doesn't mean I'm right all the time. Doesn't mean the government's right all the time. Everyone's right all the time. The federal government, World Health Organization, or anyone else. But the kind of personal attacks of some of them are just completely unacceptable. And I just want to say, because I have the opportunity to meet with Dr. Henry every day, how she never loses sight of people in this pandemic, how regardless of the criticism, she continues to show compassion for everybody, every single person. And regardless of one's view of what we're doing from a day-to-day basis, that is worthy of respect for an extraordinary human being in our province. And I think we need to have a slightly more respectful debate. I always try, to the best of my ability, to model that personally. I think we have to find ways in our society. There are unacceptable comments like the ones you referred to, disgraceful comments, and I condemn them utterly. But all of us have to find ways to disagree without personal attack. Because I can tell you this, that all of our medical health officers, our deputy ministers, our healthcare workers are giving everything they have, not 5 days a week, but 7 days a week to this pandemic, and have since it began for us, which was more than a year ago, in January of 2020. And I think Dr. Henry and all of our healthcare workers deserve recognition at 7 o'clock, at 8 o'clock, and 9 o'clock for all they have given to all of us during the pandemic.